What up, tube? It's Sunday. We just got back from our trip a few days ago. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the trip, the road trip in the Cayman. If you followed us along, you know where we went. We covered 11 states and the District of Columbia. We went through Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, Florida, Maryland, Mississippi, Louisiana, and back to Texas. 12 states. And it was a great trip, a total of 4,018 miles. I'm going to throw a picture in the corner up there. Shows a picture of the odometer when we got back. I was going to videotape it for you all, but unfortunately yesterday I had to get in the car, run over. We did a trunk or treat car meet for the PCA at one of the local children's homes for charity, and then so I added miles to that, so I didn't want to give a false reading, but we did. It was a great stay. Most of our stays were at our Airbnbs, with the exception of the first night where we stayed in Arkansas, in the city of Texarkana. Second night we stayed in Memphis was at a DoubleTree hotel, and then the last night of our stay, we stayed in Port Allen, Louisiana, and that was at a Hampton Inn. In the middle of our trip in Knoxville, we stayed with our friends, Jeff and Andrea. Thank you, Jeff. That was awesome. Beautiful area. Well, the rest were all Airbnbs. Overall, all the Airbnbs are really good. We did do your due diligence. Honestly, the only issue I've ever had on Airbnb over the years, and this is not the first time I've used them, was our stay this trip in Pensacola, Florida. Pensacola is not the greatest place. We didn't feel unsafe, but it just wasn't what we thought it would be. And the place we stayed at wasn't clear about the parking situation, and that's really important to us as far as where we park. Can we get in and out with the lowered sports car like the Cayman? Is it safe? Is it street parking, driveway parking, etc.? It was parking on the property off the street, but the entire yard was grass, and normally that's not a problem. Where we live, it's all road base or gravel, so no big deal. It wasn't very steep, but it rained going in, so it was kind of muddy. The place itself was a little deteriorated based on what the description was. Again, not unsafe. Nothing was falling apart in regards to our safety, but we didn't feel like it was truthful, and I'm not sure what all the people that reviewed were actually saying. So sometimes you don't get what you pay for, I guess. But other than that, it was safe, and we slept all right. Every other place was great. So you saw where we went. You saw the different sights and sounds. I'll post some up as I'm talking. But overall, it was a great trip. And our favorite place, I think, for wifey, her favorite place was Lincoln Memorial. She said, my favorite place was the Holocaust Museum because of just how much power there is there and how it affects you emotionally, just to see what happened and what should never happen again. The Arlington Cemetery was also a very powerful place where you really get a sense of how much and how many sacrificed and fought for the freedoms we have in our great country. But across our trip, the 4,000 miles, we met a lot of cool people, just random people that were very helpful, just very welcoming all across every state. Talked to some cool people. Now, you can't film people, so I'm not that person who's gonna throw a camera in your face, but had a cool conversation with a gentleman that owned a Tesla that autopiloted his Tesla down the tail of the dragon. That was really cool. And just in general, just talking to random cool people. Met a cool veteran that sold my wifey the big eagle patch I'll show you in a minute. He was in the Central Park by Lincoln Memorial, right in the area as a vendor. And he was a veteran during the Vietnam War, but didn't get stationed in Vietnam. He was actually search and rescue out in the Pacific, but not in the Vietnam area. But again, a lot of cool stories. Respect our veterans much, and it was really cool. And from then, as I said, traveling the country is really nice because you get to see everything. You get to see the different people, the different areas, the beautiful drives around there, all that. And if anyone's curious, as the picture showed earlier, we averaged 28.2 miles to the gallon. We had no problems getting fuel. It was 93 octane. Pretty much everywhere went to the east. As opposed to when we go west, the octane drops to 91. It's not a big deal. The car's built for that. But we got 93 octane premium the whole way around. The most expensive area was D.C. Washington, D.C. was approximately, I think we paid $4.09 a gallon in that area. And it dropped down to about $3.39 when you get out of that area, down into Maryland. Actually, I apologize, not $3.39, $3.90. And then as you come back west towards Texas, it drops down gradually through every state. But, overall, we planned the trip back in February. Gas has gone up. We all know why. Or don't know why, but it's gone up. Everything has gone up. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go into my opinions about it. If you know me, you know my opinions about it. But in the end, we spent about $120 more than we originally calculated on fuel from February to now. So do the math. It was more money. But other than that, it's fine. We've always put a buffer into our budget. We prepaid for all our hotels, all our Airbnbs. Be diligent right now about where you're going and make sure you may or may not have to buy your tickets in advance. So the Holocaust Museum sells out really quick. They're free, but they sell out their passes and they limit a certain amount of people per hour into the museum. We got ours 2-3 months early at a certain time slot. There was people outside waiting, and there's no way they were going to get in that day, and maybe not even the next. We couldn't go up to the Washington Monument because you have to get your passes a day in advance. We didn't know. Some of the other places like Graceland, same thing. When we went to Graceland, we bought it online well in advance at a certain time for a certain day. We knew that. That's the best way to do it right now because of the restrictions in certain states. You saw in certain areas we were wearing our mask. Unfortunately, that's just, whether you like it or not, that's just part of something that's going on now. Again, not going to get into that. But if you don't want to wear your mask, simply don't go. Each of these places are an individual business, and I believe in freedom, and I believe they have the freedom to request a certain thing, whether it's t-shirts only or no shirts, no service, or a mask. You have the liberty to not go because you disagree with it, or you can put a mask on for that area and enjoy the time, which is what we decided to do. No one ever asked us for vaccinations or anything like that. So that's a whole other subject that I won't go into. But again, it was a safe trip, a lot of fun, a lot to see. I highly suggest if you have the ability to take a road trip to do it. Maybe gas goes down. It's a little easier. My favorite way to stay is Airbnb because the hotel prices are up. The hotels we stayed at, we were able to use some of our points that were built up from my normal 9 to 5 traveling. But great trip. Some small souvenirs we picked up. Not a lot of big stuff. Not a lot to fit. The Cayman was great on space, as you can see. 2 suitcases in the front, our backpacks in the back. I even brought all my detailing stuff. We cleaned the car off 3 times while we were traveling. 1 complete wash. The other ones were just rinseless washes. It rained on us 4 times. So the last rain was in Pensacola, Florida on the way in. The road was still wet on the way out. And we didn't clean the car off, really just the windows and the front. We'd clean the front of the car off at every stop for gas just to get the bugs off. You don't want to get that to accumulate that. And then we got some rain on the way in, back home on the last day. And then obviously a thorough wash after that when we got back home. But you can, what I did to the car, obviously a regular oil change, maintenance, make sure air pressure, all that was good. You saw that on the prior video, on the first video. And then We use a ceramic coat spray, not a ceramic coat, because that was done a year and a half ago. But we get a thorough wash, and we put a ceramic spray wax on there. And then we took a small bottle with us. So after a couple of days, even though it was still slick, we'd spray some on, after the car was clean overnight, let it set. It really helps the bugs not stick. So from that, I'm busy next week because I'm traveling to Vegas for this 2021 SEMA event. There was no SEMA last year. There's a SEMA this year. I will be working all week in Central Hall at the Willwood Disc Brakes booth. That's the other biz. I'm going to say it. Most of you probably already know anyways. That is, I am a lead technical consultant for them. No, I cannot get you free stuff, so please do not ask. But yeah, I'll be there working all week, or from Tuesday to Thursday, and I'm going to take y'all around in the morning, maybe Monday afternoon, depending on how much time I got meetings to go to and stuff. But I am able to get in earlier because I'm with a manufacturer, so I'm going to take you around to some of the areas in the building, or some of the, the builds and the booths, etc., before the crowd gets there. And the crowd's going to be a little lighter this year, as well as attending vendors will be a little lighter this year. But at least there's a SEMA, and it'll be a lot of fun to see some of the industry partners I haven't seen in a little while. And I'm going to take you guys along, and y'all get to see some of the cool stuff that's there, inside, outside. I'm not sure if I'll be able to have time to get out of Central Hall. That's where most of the stuff is, but I do have meetings in West Hall, which is way ways away, so I don't know if I'll have time to get over to South Hall. Either way, I'll post that up next weekend, not during the week. When I'm all done, I'll put it all together. After that, Saturday of next week, we'll be at Circuit of the Americas for the Trans Am finals, and also a car show on the same day with PCA and a bunch of other cars, and a parade lap around COTA. That'll be really cool. And it's our anniversary, so it'll be really nice. I hope y'all enjoyed our trip. Thank you for following along. Have a great week. God bless.